Hello everybody, welcome. It's Pip Todman here from the Card Making Know-How Academy and Membership. It's lovely to be here today. Today we're looking at making two cards using this paper and card colours, but it's going to be a really simple fun fold. Okay, so it's probably the easiest fold that you can do as a crafter. You don't even need to measure anything, so that's the fun part. So whilst everybody gets on, we're going to just jump down here and we're going to get rid of this. Don't need that. Okay, so hopefully it's a nice day with you. It's lovely here, very bright and sunny. Let me put some lights on the subject and we're going to get cracking with this fun fold. So most of the time people think of folds as really complicated and lots of measuring and scoring and making sure that you know exactly where everything is going, and it can put people off, quite frankly, because it can make you feel like you need almost a degree in maths to be able to actually work out how to do a fun fold. And I'm here to tell you that you don't need to do that. You can make some really simple fun folds just on their own without any need for any calculus or abacus or mathematical equations at all. Okay. So, hello, happy Monday, Marcy. Hi, Ros. Hi, Lynn. Excellent. Everyone, everyone's jumping in and joining in. So, as I said, we're going to make a really fun fold, but very simple fun fold, which is great for anyone who's just starting card making. I'm going to do it two ways. Okay, so we're going to do it with the normal way first, which is a card base that opens like this. This is a normal card, opens from left to right, and I just happen to have chosen some white card for my card base here, and then I've got some pattern paper which is blue with flowers all over it, because we've all got flowers, right? Okay, so once you've got your card just folded in half like you would normally, all I want you to do is give that a good burnish, and a burnish just means that you're going to use your bone folder, that's what this thing is called, and you're going to just run it down the edge of that line, and what that does is it makes it a nice crisp fold. So you're going to need one of these, and then what you're going to need to do is just take by eye, you're going to just fold back the top corner on the top right hand corner. You're going to fold your card back and you're going to use your bone folder to just score that again. Okay, so now we have a card that has a fun fold in it with that bit scored and folded over. Right, so now you can use this kind of fold to give a sneak peek for what's inside the card. So I'm going to put some layers behind and a little bit of a sneak peek of what's inside the card, and I like this because it gives you a sense of a reason to open the card. I mean, everyone has a reason to open a card, right? Because you've got the card, it's for you, it's nice, it's what everybody wants. But this just gives like an added peek of what might be coming inside. Okay, so let's look at that first, and we'll do the layers, and then I'll show you how we're going to do the front. Hi, Ange, lovely to see you. Good afternoon. Just grabbing myself some card here. See which one's going to go with this nicely. I'm kind of thinking it needs to be like a blue to go with the front, because that's a blue. Now this is a slightly darker blue than the front of the card paper. Okay, so the paper, I think this is like a boho-y blue kind of colour. So it's like a Wedgwood blue with white and pink flowers all over it and green leaves. And then inside I've got, this is a Misty Moonlight by Stampin' Up. Just happens to be a nice sort of mid-tone blue. So we're going to add that to the inside of the card. And for anything that's like a fun fold, you're always giving something away from the inside. So generally a fun fold is about showing off a little bit of the inside, even when you've got the outside having some fun stuff going on as well. And I'll show you one that I did over the weekend, which is going to be up in the membership at some point, so you can see what I mean when I get to the end of this. I'll show you another fun fold we did at the weekend. Okay, so now we need a piece that's going to go inside. Oh, it's got to go inside here. So that's got to be the second layer down. Okay, and then when we close this, you can see that some of this is going to be shown on the front. And that's where you put your surprise, or not your surprise, but like your sneak peek of what's coming. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue this down. Now, I don't, in fact, I'm going to stamp it first because I know you guys don't like stamping after something's been glued down, just in case you make a mistake, and that's perfectly acceptable, perfectly reasonable. I think it's a good idea too to do that. So we will use some coordinating ink and we will stamp down on here. Can you see this is right? It's, yeah, okay, light's okay, not too bad. Just want to make sure that you can all see that well. So I have my ink pad here, and I've got an old stamp set here. This is Petal Park, which just happens to have 3 nice flowers in it, and I love flowers, especially since this is a floral pattern on the front. The paper's floral. So we're going to pop these in a, what kind of order do I want them in? Maybe that order, I think. So we'll just stamp those down. Okay, gives a nice image of 3 flowers. They're not particularly in any kind of order, or they're just as they come on the stamp, really. So you could do this with 1 flower image. If you only had 1 flower, you could do it like that. Oh, in fact, do I like that one better? No, I like that one. So now I've just stamped top left-hand corner and bottom right-hand corner. There's still enough space for you to, write in the middle there. You don't need to write War and Peace. So you're all right with that. And then I've got these little tiny, where are they? Dots. Here we go. It's a tiny, tiny, weeny stamp here. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see that. And it's just got a few dots on it, and I thought this would be kind of nice just to bring in a little bit of the darker brown that's on the front. So if you look at the paper, it's got some pink and it's got some dark brown, so we could bring some pink into it, but the little brown is in there, dark brown is in there too, for the centre of the flowers. Now we're not going to put the centre of the flowers in because they've already got centres, but we can just add a few little dots, really, just to give it a little bit more interest. So we'll just stamp a few of those around. You don't have to go everywhere or do, anything complicated other than just be some dots. That's all they're trying to be. Okay, so we'll put those in, and now we've got our dots, our flowers, and that's the inside of the card now stamped. Hello, Cheryl Ann from New York. It's lovely to have you here. Good morning to you over there. Okay, so now we've done that part. Now we can add that to the inside of our card. Okay, so get the glue back, and we'll just pop a little bit of glue. Again, you don't need masses of this stuff. It needs to just a really fine, sort of zigzaggy, a little bit around the edges and in the corners. And we'll stick that in. So that's now our inside. Well, if I managed to just get ink all over that. Managed to get something all over that. Hold on, have a look, see what that is. Is it glue? No, it's not glue. Is it some kind of inky thing? That gets a little bit of ink. How annoying. Probably from my early espresso. Just take that off with my sound eraser. A little bit of a sound eraser helps to just take that any ink that you get on there off. There we go. Alrighty. So now we can see that we've got just a little hint of what's inside showing through from the front of the card. So now let's finish off the front. And to do this, we want to layer the paper on, but of course that's going to prove tricky because now we don't really want to fold this bit over. That'll make it very thick and unpleasant. So the way I do this is I lay my paper on the inside, don't glue it, just position it, and then close the card up again And now I know where I can cut here. So I take my pencil and I just mark along that line. Okay. And now I can see that line on the paper. And do I wash the erasers? The sand, no, it's just sand. It just it doesn't need washing. It just takes it off. It rubs this away and rubs the card away at the same time. The glue one, if you're taking off glue, this doesn't need washing, it needs cutting. So you just chop off the edges that are too gluey, too stuck up with things, so that you get a nice clean edge, and then that's ready to go again. And eventually you run out of rubber, but it takes a long time for you to chop all these bits off, because don't need to take much off at a time, and then you've got a clean bit again you can use. So no, you don't wash them, you just use them, as it were. Now I've got bits all over here. Hold on. Use my lovely little desk hoover and we'll grab that. Okay, so where were we? So now we've got this line in the top right hand corner of our paper. And what we want to do is, remember this is slightly smaller than the card base, and we like to have borders around things. So we're going to take this line, let me move this closer. Remember, because we're not measuring anything. So in my trimmer, this is my trimmer gully here, where the blade's actually going to go. So I take this line and I line it up with the outside edge. On this trimmer, there's like a different colour. If you don't have a different colour, then it's about 1 millimetre or 1/16 of an inch. Okay. And we line it up at both ends, like so. And then we're going to cut. And that takes a little bit off of this piece. And then we're going to move it to the other side of that gully. Okay. And we're going to do the same again. And that's actually going to be, we want the line on the other side of the gully. Okay. So the line is lining up with the edge of this bit here. And then that means that when I cut that, it takes a little bit off. So now if you look at this, you can see that I've taken just a smidgy off on this side of the line and on this side of the line. So now I have two pieces of paper, one of which is our big piece and one of which is our small piece. Okay. Well, hello, Carol. It is hot today. Yes, thankfully it's quite cool in here. I'm going to have to put my blinds down in a bit though, because the sun's starting to move over the top of the house. When it comes through on the back, then it gets really hot in here. And Margaret, hello, nice to see you. All right, so now we've got this. Okay, so we've got a piece which has had the top corner cut off, but it doesn't fit back perfectly. You'd have to hold it like this with a bit of a gap in the middle, because that's what we've taken out. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this into place on here, and you can just test it before you glue anything. You can just test it out and make sure that it lines up, and it should line up and enable you to fold that over without it catching on that piece there. Okay, so go quite close, but it shouldn't catch when you fold that flap over. So now we can glue that in. And I find it better to cut on both sides of the line, because then that way it gives you a more even. If I just said to you, just chop a bit off, you'd be less likely to chop off the right amount, if you see what I mean. It's much easier if you've got a guide to work to. All right, so that's now in there, that's there. And then it's up to you as to whether you want to glue this down, okay? Because you could leave it up like that. And you could write a little secret message under here on the flap if you want to. It does kind of hide that big flower, which is a bit of a shame, but I'm going to glue mine down, I think. Just because I can. Okay. So glue the underneath of the flap over and hold that in place. If you do it on the flap, it means that you will never put too much glue down on your paper. Now this is card, so I recommend using a wet glue to hold it, because it's a thick card and it needs glue to hold that in. Red tape or other kind of tape would also work, but probably not your normal tear and tape. or your seal, probably not. And now we've got this bit, which sort of fits over on this side, but actually, if we turn it over, it should then fit nicely over that corner as well, because it's come from the right, but you can't do it this way round unless you happen to manage to get a perfectly equal triangle, which I did, but I don't want to do it like that. But if I do it on the reverse, it's generally a coordinating pattern. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that on. And if you've got any kind of bumps, which you generally get because you're using a trimmer, you can just flatten those out. So this way we know it's going to work perfectly. And I'll show you another option so that you can see why it wouldn't necessarily work perfectly if you didn't get your corner fold exactly right, because it doesn't have to be a 90, like it doesn't have to be a complete fold over. You could do it all kinds of different angles if you wanted to. You could do it bigger, you could do it smaller. That's what I mean, you don't have to have any measurements to do this card. It's just whatever you decide to fold over, that's it, it works. Okay, so now we've done that. I want to just add, I think I might, do I want to add any front decoration? I think I kind of do. I think I kind of do. I might just add one of these flowers. So the flowers that I've got, I've punched out. I think I might just do one there. That looks kind of cute, doesn't it? So I'm just adding a flower to where the fold flaps over. So the point of that fold. So we've now got a white card base, which has got a kind of make it look that's kind of part of that grouping of flowers behind it. So white card base, it's got the top right hand corner folded over. It's got blue pattern paper with flowers on the base of, on the front of the card, and then the fold over piece has got a piece of blue with almost like a very subtle pattern of flowers on the back of it as well. And I've just popped a little flower on some dimensionals over the join where it joins one to the other, where the flap folds over. On the inside, we've given this little sneak peek of some stamping, and on the inside we've got a blue layer and a white layer with some blue flowers and some brown dots. And then of course we need some words. So you can decide whether you want to do this as a you know, whatever kind of card you want. I always need thank yous and hellos. Actually, I'm going to do this one as a hello, I think. Hello, because that's nice and diddy. And I might just put my little hello at the top here, over there. So I'm going to grab a little circle. I think I've got a little diddy tiny circle in here somewhere. Is that going to fit? Ooh. It might just fit my hello on. Let's try and see if I can fit that on there, because that would be really cute to have a little tiny hello. And I'm going to use Early Espresso so it really sort of stands out from the card. Give it a bit of... And this is just one fun fold that I'm showing you. In the membership we have so many. We have some that work for any stage of card maker, whether you're confident or a beginner. There's lots that you can do. And then we have some that I would recommend only if you're a confident card maker. Okay, so then see that can go over there, and that just... So this is now going to be half on and half off the little flap. You could put it right down here if you wanted to, actually on the main body of the card. But I like popping it up there, half on, half off. And I would glue this. I wouldn't use a dimensional in case it pops off when somebody tries to pull the card open by it. So we're just going to glue this bit here. And this glue is so strong you don't need very much of it. And we're going to add that to the centre of that diagonal line. So it's half on the front of the card, half hanging off over the back of the card. But you can see it's a nice edged piece because of what it looks like on the front, and also because you can see through it to the back. And that way you've got a sneak peek of what's inside. So there we go. I mean, it has to be one of the simplest fun folds ever with no measuring. I love that, right? What do you think? Hi Jeanette, nice to see you. So let me know what you think. As I say, in the membership we have a whole bunch of fun folds. We really do enjoy lots and lots of different ideas and different techniques, and you know, I teach everything from standard basic foundations of card making all the way through the techniques, all the way through to more complicated cards. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Carol. I'm glad you like it. So this might be one of the simplest cards that you can make, and then this might be an idea of one of the more complicated cards you might make as a fun fold. So this one folds out like this, stands like this, and you can see that it's got multiple layers that do multiple things. So this is an example of one that is coming soon to the membership. It's not there at the moment because I just need to do a video for it. But we're also this month looking at stamping and all the different stamping techniques. So there are now 13 basic techniques for stamping, not including things like masking and stuff like that. And then we will do, I've got more advanced ones coming as well. So if you are a beginner card maker and you don't know where to start, you're a little bit confused with all the jargon, everything looks too complicated for you, then please do jump into the membership. It's great for people who are just getting started, but also those who've been around a while and just think, oh, maybe I missed something because none of my cards actually look as I want them to look. It's probably that you've missed some of the design fundamentals, and I teach those too. So that's that one, and then you can do it in a different way. So that's that way round. And then let me show you, if you cut your cardstock the other way, so the way you do this is you take a whole piece of card and you cut it all the way along the long edge, okay? And then, oh Carol, you got a broken finger. That's not good. Oh, you poor thing, how did you do that? That's dreadful. Don't tell us if you don't want to, but oh, you poor thing. That's not fun. That's not fun. Okay, so this one you've done long ways, so all the way along the card, and then folded it in the middle as normal. And we're going to do exactly the same. This time you're going to choose a different fold. So I'm just going to do it a bit more like this. So it's a bit more like, it's not an equal triangle, let's put it that way. So this way I'm folding it over, and it's now got the point more towards the left hand side of the card. So this is it's a landscape card where the card has been folded at the left hand edge, and you have to do it on this way round, because if you did a normal tent fold card where it folded this way, you couldn't fold this bit in because that's where the score line is, right? Oh, walking netball. See, I told you sport's dangerous. You poor thing. I do like netball though, I have to say. Now for this one, it's very similar, so I'm not going to go to and do all of the different combinations and stuff. I'm actually not even going to do any sneak peeks on this one, although you could do. So I'm just going to glue myself an inside. This time I've just gone for white. It's a crumb cake base with a white layer. Putting that down. And then here I've got the same paper, but this time I've cut it the other way around. So where do we want that to go? Which one do we want? I think we'll have these ones showing, and that one can be kind of hidden. That's going to go under there. So again, I've just cut it to the same size as a first layer. Okay, and if you don't know what the layering is, if you don't understand layering, then please sign up for my emails, because if you're a new card maker and you don't understand cardstock, sometimes you might watch something on YouTube and it doesn't work for you. It's probably because you've got different size cardstock. So sign up for my emails. They're free, you don't have to pay anything, and in the first couple of weeks you'll get loads of useful information from there. So this is the first layer size, and again we're going to pop that down. It's the same paper that I used for the other one, I'm just doing it with a different colour base. And then we're going to get that pencil out again, and this time I'm going to mark again like we did all the way down that piece of paper. And then let's put my lid on so my glue doesn't dry up, always a good tip. I like this because you can feel like you're being really creative with your, oh, let's get rid of that for a second. You can feel like you're getting really creative with your folds, but you don't have to know anything. No maths is involved. Don't like maths. Okay, and then we're going to put the edge of our line, as we did before, against the edge that's just on the outside, like the gully of the trimmer. Cut that, go in, do the same again. This time put the edge on the outside, this side of the trimmer. So we're just taking that little slither out the middle. Makes it nice and even, and you know that you're going in the right angle that way. This one we're going to glue on the front here, like so. Okay. This one's going on here, like so. Okay, make sure that lines up and it's straight. Lovely. Okay, I'm going to fold that and I'm going to glue this again at the front. See how quickly you can get it done when I'm not talking about it. When I'm not teaching and I'm just doing, it's so much quicker than it actually sounds. Okay. Whoops, wrong way. That way. There we go. All right, so now that's glued down. Just hold it for a minute because it's card. And then again, we're going to flick this piece over and you'll see how that then will fit there and give us a nice border around it. And this is a very uneven triangle, you know, it's not a, and that's what I mean, because you've cut it from the same piece of paper, you haven't got to worry about, oh, will it fit? How do I know if the lines are going to be the right gap or depth or whatever? Of course it's going to fit because it's come off the same piece of paper that you cut it out from, so it's guaranteed to fit. I love that. Okay, and then we can add some more flowers. Now I'm going to do a yellow flower that kind of goes with it. Maybe I'll do some blue ones. What do we think? Maybe some blue ones. We've got white though here, so I don't know. We'll try it and we'll see. You can tell me what you think. So this would work if you had any die cut flowers. You know, this just happens to be a punch because I've got a punch here that works with it, just for speed really. But if you had die cut flowers, you could use those and that would work really nicely. 3 is always a good number. It's just more pleasing to the eye than having even numbers. Okay, is that lined up? That's kind of lined up. There we go. There we go. Alrighty. So now we've got 3 flowers. We can pop these along the edge. I don't really want to hide too much of that edge. In fact, I'm not even sure if I want to hide all that much of that triangle. I might see what I'm going to put on as words. I've got a thanks here, which is always useful for me. And then I've got a little label. This little label works nicely with that thanks. So I could put a thanks along here. Don't really want to hide so many of them. Maybe I could do it there. Maybe I do it along here. It's hiding a little bit, but it's not hiding so much of the flowers, and then that flower can stick over the top like that. There we go. That'll work. Just designing as I go. I'm going to use the same early espresso that we did before because that will also go with the crumb cake quite nicely. Let's stamp this. This DSP that I'm using, or designer series paper as we call it, it's a brand name by Stampin' Up. This is Wildly Flowering, and it's one that I would not normally have thought of using. It didn't, like, the colours are not necessarily my colours, but when I saw the paper, it was like, oh my goodness, it's beautiful. So yes, Wildly Flowering, and it's got all of like last year's in colours, so Moody Mauve, Wild Wheat, Boho Blue, Pebble Path, and what's the other one? Copper Clay. It's got a bit of all of them in. It's very, very pretty. Lots of Moody Mauve and Boho Blue, which of course I love because I love my purples and my blues. Okay, let's take all the backs off these. In case you're wondering, I don't like soggy middles, so I always make sure that I have lots of dimensionals. I'm going to put this so it's pretty much central to the card. So the thanks is central. Is that straight? Hang on, I just need to check my eyesight. I think it was better before. Okay, it's the diagonal that's throwing off my astigmatism. And then I'm going to add a dimensional to the centre of this flower. So normally I'd probably do about 3, yeah, but I can't because it's going over the edge, and it's going to, we don't want it to stick any glue on this side where the diagonal is. So that flower goes top corner of the thanks. Actually, we could even do it better than that. She sits tearing it off, turning it around, because these petals here are shorter than those ones over there. So if we put it this way, we have more of it sticking over. So let's do that. There we go. So the little tip, make sure it's still not showing. Nope, that's good. Okay, so that's on that side, and then we'll just add these flowers, maybe one on that corner and the one down here on this corner. So they're just kind of overlapping down here. So let's put another dimensional there. But of course you could put whatever you wanted to. You know, you could, if you didn't want to have any fancy paper even, you could just do this with stamped images on the back or on the front, or you could just, you know, have it plain colour, just a plain background, you know. It's up to you. It'll work with lots of things. Okay, quick desk tidying. And there you go, pretty much that's it done. This time I haven't done anything on the inside. Obviously this time I did all that fancy stamping on the inside, which you could do, but I think it looks nice either way. Here's another one I did before. This is with the Moody Mauve flowers. It's beautiful. Again, I didn't put anything on the inside of this one. This one's Early Espresso base with this beautiful pink, mauvey kind of dusky pink colour. Again, with the thanks, I've added flowers in, picking out. You see these flowers on the other side of this paper had a little bit of that wild wheat in the centre, so I've just done a couple of wild wheat ones. This one actually does look okay because I've got a 3 and a 1 off to the side. So the 3 are odd and the 1 is odd, even though it's got 4 together, if that makes sense. Cheryl says she likes them both. That's great. And you can see how different these diagonals are depending on how I've folded them. So they're all going to come out slightly differently because you're not measuring precisely. You're just folding it over and giving it a go. They aren't always going to be exactly the same, and I like that in a card. Thank you, Carol. Carol likes them. So don't be afraid. I think that's the important thing is, you know, now you understand the mechanics of the fact that you can cut one piece to size and then put it behind, draw a line and cut pieces off. You can fold wherever you want, so be brave and give it a go. I'd love to see what you make. Pop it over into our community group. If you're in the membership, don't forget you put it in the members group, then you will earn your place to get prizes, which is always good fun. Thanks, Ange. Lovely set of cards. She says that's very nice of you, and a smart design, says Lynn. Yeah, it's kind of elegant, I think. Actually, it's I think the paper helps, but I just think this corner just gives it something, makes it a little bit. I actually really like the ones that are not perfect angles, almost better than this one, which is, you know, very, very square looking. It looks like you've got a square on top of here, but that's for my OCD, for people who like to have things nice and square. This is kind of for everyone else who doesn't mind it a little bit squiffy. So because I think they look quite good squiffy. So there you go. Have a go. Let me know how you get on. Tell me over in my group or groups. And oh, Sue, you got to go back on rewind. Yes, you come in just at the end. But that's okay. The good thing is you can watch it on replay. If you're watching it on replay, give me a hashtag replay in the comments. I love to see everybody who catches up with me on replay. And, you know, you can always ask questions because I do respond to all the questions that come in through YouTube and also on my Facebook groups if you've got any questions about these cards. I also love seeing your versions of them. So lots and lots of you have been doing that over the last few weeks. You've been taking my designs and then making them and doing them yourself, which is great. So that's really good. I love seeing that. Thank you. So sign up for the membership, sign up for my emails, come along and see us, spend some time, hang out, chill out, make some cards, and I will see you again. Now, I might not be here next week live. I'm just waiting for my job, I might need to go somewhere else. So I may not be able to be here on Monday live. So I'm just waiting to find that out. Hopefully tomorrow I'll know that. So I might be here live next week, or if not, I will pop up a video in my emails so that you can see something that I think is a good thing for you to have a look at. Otherwise, I'll be back again the week after. So, which will be a bank holiday here. So, but that's okay because I never go anywhere on a bank holiday. It's far too hot normally and it's far too busy. So if I don't see you next Monday live, I'll see you the Monday after. All right then, guys. Take care for now and I will see you again soon. Cheers. Bye.